Feeling that he could be cornered at any moment, Bell hurriedly moves away from the students and climbs to the top floor of the building. The hallway is empty, too silent, and upon opening a large cypresswood door, he enters a room where he is overwhelmed by the presence of a single deity, a god of serene and almost unreal beauty, with intense golden hair and fair skin, enveloped in a sacred robe. His eyes remain closed, but Bell still feels that he is being watched. There is something about that figure that directly evokes light and the sacred, something that paralyzes the body and mind. Before Bell can react, a student bursts in the room in a state of urgency, searching for a white-haired human intruder. The god, with absolute calm, denies having seen anyone. The student apologizes, announces the illegal intrusion of Oreo, and hurries away, determined to capture culprit. Bell, hidden behind a table, realizes that he was intentionally protected. Gradually, the nervousness diminishes, as if the mere presence of that deity slowed down time around them. The god introduces himself as Balder and calls Bell by name, referring to him as the new hope of Oreo. Bell is very surprised, but Balder's gentle and calm tone dissolves his tension. There is something comforting in his voice, something that soothes the heart. When Bell asks why he was protected, Balder reveals that, even before the commotion, they were already arguing precisely about him. At that moment, Hermes unexpectedly appears, emerging from under the floor as if he had always been there. The familiarity between the two gods is evident in the exchange of words, marked by light irony and ancient intimacy. Bell observes in silence, trying to follow the conversation, until he is shocked to hear that Balder is not only an important deity, but the supreme leader and founder of the school district. The revelation makes the weight of the situation fall on Bell with renewed force. Even realizing the gravity of being there illegally, Bell barely has time to react. Hermes, with his casual demeanor, mentions a request. Balder then turns his face to Bell and, with absolute tranquility, makes an unexpected proposal to become a student in the school district. Bell's world seems to freeze for a moment, and soon after, his reaction explodes in an incredulous scream that echoes through the room. The impact of the proposal still resonates when the scene shifts to the Fire Mansion, now at night. Bell recounts everything that happened in the school district, but the reaction is anything but calm. Lily explodes in fury, her voice laden with disbelief and jealousy, while Welf listens with a rigid expression, clearly suspicious. Bell tries to explain himself, embarrassed, admitting that it wasn't exactly a formal recruitment, but something closer to an imposed condition, conducted once again by Hermes. The mention of Hermes' name only worsens the situation. Lily reacts immediately, accusing him of involving Bell in yet another mess, and the tension in the room grows. Bell, without fully understanding the gravity of the matter, ends up revealing that he also heard something about recruitment and internship, which leads Welf and Lily to interrupt him to clarify the terms more seriously. Gradually, they explain that recruitment means the attempt to attract new members to a family, while the internship, called faction experience, functions as a period of coexistence to test compatibility before possible membership. As Bell listens, he realizes how limited his knowledge of how factions and the school district work was. The recruitment of familiars is an official, recognized, and encouraged event in which the families of Oreo present themselves in the school district in search of promising talents. For Oreo, this guarantees exceptional adventurers. For the students, it opens diverse and prestigious paths. It is a mutually beneficial relationship that has existed for a long time and reinforces Orario's position as the center of the world. Lily goes on to explain that, during this process, some families may designate specific members as recruiting officers, chosen by the school district itself based on student interest. This usually happens mainly with large and renowned families. The faction experience, on the other hand, allows students to participate directly in the activities of affiliated families, learning about their routines and values, avoiding hasty decisions about where to join. Following these explanations, Bell begins to understand that the proposal made by Balder was not something simple or impulsive. It was part of a larger, structured system in which he had been placed at the center, without even realizing it. Even so, the feeling of being carried along by the current of events remains, making it clear that his involvement with the school district is only just beginning. With everything finally explained, the true weight of the situation begins to settle on Belle. This wasn't just a mix-up caused by Hermes or a strained proposal made in the heat of the moment. The school district, Oreo, and the families were connected by an old and well-defined system, and had been inserted into it as a valuable piece. Without realizing it, Belle went from a simple adventurer to someone observed, desired, and discussed in much larger circles than he imagined. The idea of students directly participating in the family's activities makes it clear that it's not just theory or safe learning. It's direct contact with the real world of the factions, with their risks, expectations, and interests. Belle understands that by accepting something like this, he would be exposing not only himself but also his own family, still small and fragile, to the watchful eyes of Oreo and the school district. This explains Lily's intense reaction. It's not unfounded fear, but real concern about the consequences. Even without a decision made, one thing becomes evident. Balder's proposal was not made by chance. It stems from the recognition of Belle's worth and the impact his existence already has on the balance between Oreo and the school district. What began as a desperate escape attempt ended with enormous doors opening before him. Doors that can no longer be ignored. While the atmosphere of the Fire Mansion remains tense, Belle realizes that his life is entering a new phase. A phase where it's not enough to simply advance through the labyrinths or become stronger. Now, he needs to understand politics, interests, and choices that can shape not only his future, but that of everyone around him. The school district has ceased to be just a distant place. It has become an unavoidable path.